fourth quarter saw the presentation of the proposed spending of 7.30 trillion naira for the year 2017. An optimistic budget benchmarked at $42.5 a barrel with an expected oil production output of 2.2 million barrels per day. Now, this shows government is confident at resolving the issues in the Niger Delta region. Now, the government says this budget should take the economy on the path of growth and recovery. I caught up with Mr. Taiwo Oyedele of the PricewaterhouseCoopers, and he shared his opinion on a series of issues from 2016 and an outlook for the year 2017. Now, do take a listen.
I think 2016 is going to go down as one of those years that we wish we never had to go through as a country, in particular for Nigerians. We started off having a lot of hopes and hoping that things were going to improve from where we're coming from in 2015. And whether you're looking at it from the angle of employment, from businesses trying to thrive and survive, whether you're looking at it from the angle of revenue for government to be able to meet infrastructural need and provide social services, and whether you're looking at it from the angle of FDI, foreign direct investment, whether it was the capital market we're looking at, whether you're looking at the exchange rate of the naira to convertible foreign currencies. I think looking back now, everything has been on a downward trend. So that hasn't been very impressive. And I think it's a combination of factors. Some outside our control, but I think the large portion of it were things that we could have controlled and probably behaved differently in terms of policies, in terms of our attitude, in terms of transparency, in terms of the economic management overall.
When you talked about policies, were you referring to the fiscal or the monetary policies of government?
A combination of policies. Now, one thing I've always said is Nigeria is such a poor country, in my view. And also statistically, our entire revenue, if you look at 2017, which is a record budget, it's just a little over 7 trillion naira. You convert that to US dollars, even at the official rate, interbank, you're just talking about $24 billion. Now, $24 billion is not even enough to fix federal rates alone, assuming corruption is 0%. And then here are we're almost like a country that just coming out of a war. Almost every sector you look into needs very significant interventions. So what that means is government on its own, by spending money that they generate, we will never be able to solve our problems. So how do we solve our problems? We need the private sector to begin to drive the economy of Nigeria. All over the world, in developed countries, you see private sectors construct roads, they build airports, seaports, hospitals, universities, and the list is endless. How come we do not have electricity in Nigeria, about 4,000, 5,000 megawatts for 180 million people, where we should be talking about over 120,000 megawatts? How come the leading multinationals in that sector are not investing in Nigeria? It's a good mine. If you have the GAs and the Siemens bringing all the billions of dollars they have, they know once they generate the power, the people are willing to buy and pay for it. Why are they not willing to partner with us? And that's why I mentioned the issue of policy. Now, you have policies, and sometimes those policies are not sensible. Those policies are inconsistent, and therefore they send the wrong signal.
We saw inflation rise from as low as 9.3% in January 2016 to as high as over 18% in the month of November. Now, what was responsible for this unprecedented rise?
So I think the major problem that we're trying to deal with, that we haven't figured out how to solve, is the exchange rate problem. So there's dollar illiquidity, dollar in particular, because it's the most sought after foreign currency by Nigerians for different reasons. Now, because we haven't been able to manage that, and we've had a lot of issues around the policies, my view would have been that when you get to a point where the economy is in recession, and we're still battling with revenue for governments, including generating foreign currency, that is the time to promote growth. But I think we're doing the exact opposite of what we should have done. So it's not surprising for me that those policy measures did not control inflation, which was the objective. Because the reason why the inflation did not go down was because the inflation was not induced by excess money supply. It was induced by cost that was going up as a result of the exchange rates.
Exactly how optimistic are you that the budget 2017 will lead the economy on the path of growth and recovery as claimed by the federal government?
Looking at the 2017 budget proposals generally, I did not see anything that is dramatically different from 2016 budgets. So it looks to me like business as usual. A lot of rhetorics, right? And my view is that even if you implement these budgets 100%, it will not be the reason why Nigeria will be out of recession. It will not be the reason why we recover from the decline. What will make us recover from the decline and go back to the path of economic growth would be the policies. I do admit that you don't have to go into details of policy when you're making budget proposals, but I'm hoping, because the president mentioned it and I was very glad, but I'm hoping that will be implemented, that we're going to try and achieve some consistencies between monetary policy, fiscal policies, and trade policies. If you do that, that is when you begin to solve our problems.
Part of the challenge the nation is going through is a consequence of that dependency on oil. Now, we have seen the government attempt at diversifying the economy. Are you satisfied with the entire diversification initiative?
Diversification, one, has to be something that we think about strategically. Where can we compete more than many other countries? Number two, we don't diversify away from oil. We start by diversifying the oil sector itself. And even within the other sectors, the same thing happens. You look at agriculture that you mentioned. We celebrate agriculture because it's contributing significantly to our economy. It's been growing despite the recession that we have been going through. But the question is, the agri sector itself is not diversified. So we still produce tomato, we don't produce tomato paste. We still have cocoa, we don't make chocolate. By the way, countries around the world make more money from value-added products than from raw and basic items. So that analysis goes for every single sector of the economy.